17 expansions.
I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
12 game packs.
Nuke it, never should have been made. I don't even want it to exist.
20 stuff packs.
The Sims 4 pack system is getting out of hand.
And 33 kits. The Sims 4 has an overconsumption problem. Okay, but hold on. I'm not saying you should cut up all your credit cards, but if you're gonna lean into your capitalist urges, at least be smart about it. That's where today's sponsor comes in clutch. Instant Gaming is an online marketplace where you can buy new and upcoming games at super low prices. It's cheap, it's so easy to use, and they offer 24/7 customer support. And since we're talking about DLC today, I want to recommend one of my favorite games with expansions that are actually worth it. The Witcher 3 Game of the Year Edition is on sale for nearly 80% off on Instant Gaming, and it comes with 2 amazing expansions. So if you want to check out The Witcher 3 or just browse the expansive library of games available on Instant Gaming, now's your chance. And if you use my link in the description when you buy, I'll receive a small commission on your purchase. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Now let's spill some tea. So you know how there's those people who camp outside Target at like 4 a.m. because they're waiting for the new Stanley Cups or whatever?
Don't know.
Wait, am I gonna get attacked by the Stanley Cup stands on Twitter now? Damn it. Replace the Stanley Cups with the next Sims 4 DLC, and that pretty much describes the state of the Sims franchise today. The overconsumption of the Sims 4 is out of control, and I want to get it out the way from the jump. I'm just a Sims fan expressing my opinion. I'm not trying to tell you what you can or cannot buy. Do you really think I have that kind of power? I'm not here to tell you that you can't enjoy a game, but we should not normalize the excessive, never-ending DLC cycle of video games like The Sims 4. So I say enough. And I'm going to share with you some real consequences of this over DLC-ification of The Sims 4. And it starts with the effect that it's having on players. Exhibit A. Sims creator Fake Gamer Girl posted a video just last week where she announced that her game is broken.
I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. This is literally a video about me complaining that my Sims game keeps crashing.
According to her, she can't play her Sims 4 game for more than 30 to 45 minutes without experiencing some problems.
I think I can get 30 to 45 minutes out of her before an issue starts happening, whether that's an infinite loading screen or the game just saying it stops working.
She's tried several fixes, removed her mods, cleared the cache, but to no avail.
I've taken all my mods out, and I've repaired the game, and I've cleared the cache, and EA has cleared my cache, and it still doesn't work.
So what's the problem?
And this is coming from someone who has every single pack.
Sorry, what was that?
Who has every single pack.
That's...
Okay.
Money! He got money! Get it all for him!
She comes to the conclusion that the sheer amount of DLC she owns is the cause of her game's broken state.
But I don't think this game was meant to withstand the sheer amount of expansion packs that we have, because I feel like with every brand new expansion pack, the game just starts running worse and worse.
Now everything is starting to make sense. Because after 10 years and 82 DLC and counting, we're seeing the effect that this excessive monetization has had on players. Even in the comments of Fake Gamer Girl's video, there's dozens of people saying they can't get their Sims 4 game to work.
So many people are having so much trouble actually running their games now.
But I want to take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. Are we really surprised by this? Given the fact that EA constantly releases DLC in a broken state and has to put out emergency patches several times a year, it gives the impression that the game is hanging on by a thread. I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on with The Sims 4 on the technical side of things, but I constantly hear people talk about spaghetti code and feature creep and simulation lag. And on the consumer side of things, when you buy every pack that comes out for this game, and again, we're talking like 50 DLC and that's not counting kits, can you really complain? I mean, obviously consumers have the right to complain when the products they buy are broken, but when it happens 10 times, 20, 50 times? If I go to the store and buy a blender because I want to make a bomb-ass green smoothie, but then I come home and plug that blender in and it's missing features, and the buttons don't work, or it stops working randomly, or the spins just ain't spinning. But then I go back to the store and continue repurchasing that same blender over and over again, 50 times in a row? What is that saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 3 times, you just have a humiliation kink. It's safe to say that this is not normal consumer behavior. It basically fits the definition of insanity, trying something over and over again and expecting a different result. Because Sims 4 players seem to be stuck in this endless cycle. Get hyped for new DLC, then get upset that the DLC is broken or empty, and then get excited all over again when a new DLC is announced. And while I sympathize with Fake Gamer Girl and every Sims 4 player who's constantly confronted with their broken game, this is not news. And truthfully, it's almost like EA is exploiting you guys on purpose.
Cut the cameras.
Your Honor, I'd like to submit the following video as evidence.
The Sims 4 pack system is getting out of hand. What was once one pack in The Sims 3 called the Generations pack is now multiple packs in The Sims 4, including Growing Together, My Wedding Stories, High School Years, Kids Room Stuff, Toddler Stuff, and Parenthood.
Okay, this is actually insane. And if you disagree, you are the ops, okay? One thing that is so painfully obvious about The Sims 4 is the way the content has been chopped up into little pieces. Somehow, what used to be sold as a single DLC, like pets for instance, has now been sliced up and divided across several DLC. So instead of making one single pets expansion like in The Sims 1 through 3, The Sims 4 has a cats and dogs pack, a My First Pet Stuff pack, and a horses pack. That's like $100 of content that in previous games only cost $30.
You better be joking.
And this is just one example. Occult and family gameplay have met similar fates. The way The Sims 4 content has been unnecessarily chopped up and served to players at triple the price is quite frankly offensive. I have heard Sims 4 players use the excuse that they're okay with paying more because the quality is better. They say the packs are more fleshed out. No, baby. And even if that were the case, it's made under the assumption that EA Maxis simply cannot make a single DLC that is both content heavy and good. Do you hear yourself? You're making this excuse in defense of the Sims 4 team, but at the same time, you're actually insulting them. Because you're implying that this AAA game company is simply incapable of making quality content that's worth the money. You do realize they could have put all of the pets content in one pack and sold it to you at the same price, but they deliberately chose not to. You guys are rewarding them for making you pay more for less. There are countless games out there with expansions that are worth it. I talked about The Witcher 3 earlier. The Dragon Age expansions are solid. Cyberpunk's Phantom Liberty was basically an entirely new game. It was so massive. Elden Ring, Mass Effect 2 and 3, and that's just off the top of my head. Some of them published by EA, by the way, but these are all games that have had huge, fleshed out, quality expansions. And what does The Sims 4 give you in an expansion? Horses, a whole bunch of bugs, a shopping cart that flashes at the top of the screen and begs you to buy more DLC, and like a rabbit hole movie theater.
Movie theater rabbit hole building?
There is no excuse for the lousy quality of The Sims 4 DLC, except I guess for the excuses that you, the players, make. If it's not already obvious, the reason they don't give you more is because they know you'll still buy it even if they give you less. Enter Exhibit C. Even the EA creators can agree that most Sims 4 DLC is average or worse.
This one is going to go for me at meh.
This creator, who likely received most of these expansions for free and makes money by playing The Sims 4, did a ranking where she said that 50% of the expansions are either average or below average quality.
What in the hell?
That's $240 worth of content that's just mediocre. But what I've observed from Sims 4 players is that hindsight is sort of 2020. Because when a new pack is about to come out, they'll be hyping that shit up, right? But then like a week after it's released, they'll be like, I'm bored, when's the next pack? Was it really that good? The newest Sims expansion pack, Life and Death, is being lauded by players right now as one of the best expansions ever. But is it really? In reality, their standards are actually so low that they faint and fall on the floor in the presence of average. And hold the phone right now. Before anyone goes off in the comments calling me a miserable hater, I'd like to present Exhibit D. This is my game library in the EA app. Do you see this number right here? Almost 1,500 hours in The Sims 4. And I actually want to count together how many packs I own for The Sims 4, because I don't even know myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I have bought, with my own money, 19 DLC for this game. I'm not a hater, babes. I just woke the fuck up. Again, this is DLC I spent real money on. But after buying nearly 20 packs, I realized my smoothie was not smoothieing. So I stopped going to the store and buying that blender. To hell with smoothies anyway. Espresso martinis are so much better. To put things in perspective, on this channel I have over 100 videos about The Sims 3. And the kicker is, I actually own more DLC for The Sims 4 than I do The Sims 3. I don't feel like I'm missing out by not having that extra content. Sims 4 players can't relate, because even with 82 DLC, somehow the game is still lacking. How do I know that, even though I haven't played it in over a year? Because if it weren't lacking, Sims 4 players wouldn't foam at the mouth every time a new pack is announced. So are there any other consequences to the over-monetization of The Sims 4? Well, yes. As we found out a few weeks ago, there will not be a Sims 5, and the reason they gave for this decision was that they don't want players to have to start over again with a new game. In other words, EA is worried that after buying 80 DLC, Sims 4 players won't want to switch over to The Sims 5. So that is a very real consequence, and frankly, the fact that they decided to keep this game going for 10 years and just constantly milk players was a terrible decision from a strategic perspective. They basically shot themselves in the foot, bruh. Because their player base is now over-invested in their old product. And I also think there's another side effect. And this is a bit existential or whatever, but I can't help but notice that it seems like the Sims 4 players who have invested hundreds of dollars have become so dogmatic. I think a lot of players have become so invested in The Sims 4 that when they hear critiques of the game, they somehow think they're being attacked.
You are a piece of garbage!
It's such a bizarre phenomenon, honestly. Any other gaming community, there's people complaining all the time. It's normal, people have opinions, and that's okay. But apparently it's not okay with Sims 4 players. And the worst part is, my criticism is coming as a fan of the Sims franchise. I know a lot of you watching right now are fans as well, and I think it's up to us, the real fans of this franchise, to speak up when we're unhappy with the direction the franchise is heading in. So in the end, it's undeniable. The Sims 4 has a major overconsumption problem. There's too much content, it is breaking people's games, and EA stays exploiting players financially. I wish I could say it's time to wake up, but sadly, a lot of people in the Sims community are so blinded that when they see the light at the end of the tunnel, they think it's the next DLC. Sweetie, that's a train.
Give it to me.